G'day guys, Alfie here. Another intro to a stream video here. I just wanted to highlight some of the way this whole streaming of the mentors and the resources that go along with it is supposed to work. There is a download of the world in the video description. I'll probably put a link up on screen here as well. And this is where you end up when you enter that world. And this walks you through, it's sort of walked through in the PDF that's associated with it. Okay, so there's the setting up the scoreboard, which actually relates directly to this command block. It tells you what that command does and how it works, right? And then it goes on to the first bank of Alfie, which, thanks to Ben, is this guy here, and it tells you what this does and what the command blocks behind it do. It talks about the NPC trade mechanic there and how broken it is. And it also offers you some resources to use for the villager trades who are there and there. But more importantly, and it talks about this a little bit too, but more importantly, what else it does is since the stream, I've been trying to work out A, why that didn't work, and B, a better way of combining the first bank and the NPC trade that we've got set up there. And I did this here. So again, it walks you through it in the PDF document, but there is the second bank of Alfie here, and then there's the shop here who will actually sell you things. So that all links through here, so you can get the world. There'll be a link to the video in like all linked together. But there's also the two JSON files for when you go into the trading mechanics with villagers if you want, and there'll also be a vanilla trade pack that we started with as well. So just to give you an idea about what everything is, you've got this PDF document which will be linked in the video description and in the video right about now. You've got the world which will be linked in the video description and probably in the video earlier. And then from there you'll be able to get all the other things you need to make this happen. All right, so I think we'll just go straight into the stream now. Yeah, all right, thanks, see ya. All right, we are live now. Sorry, we are starting 13 minutes late. I'm going to blame Ben, not the fact that I had children running around like mad behind me for the last 13 minutes. That's my excuse. I'm going to blame Ben. So, welcome.
Thanks.
Here he is. Hi. We are going to have a look at some trading stuff today. Now, we've set up only two different ones, and if we have time, we'll set up a third of a way you can set up some trading for students. So this is something that's come out from both the wider community and the mentor community, that we want the ability for students to hand in items for other items. So we sort of thought we've got some ideas around that, so we sort of come back to the idea, well, let's do a mentor stream on it. So here we go. So Ben, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ben Spildunner, Minecraft mentor and a high school English teacher. And as I told Elfie, this is going to be a learning experience for me as well. So I'm excited to jump in.
All right, do you want to start with the villager trades and have a chat about that, or do you want to start with my wacky scoreboard stuff?
Yeah, we can do villager trades.
All right, so
Sure.
I've got one of them over here for you. So Ben and I set up what's it called, Ben? What's that thing we set up? Behavior pack.
Hey, thank you. Yes. Yeah.
And go.
Yeah. So the idea was, I came at it basically from more of a narrative perspective. For a long time, I've been wanting to set up a way to trade in which you could have students go on a quest to find something that they would have to then bring back to another character, and they could trade that for another item, which they would then need to trade for another item from another character, and so on and so forth. And so I just set up it was just a simple, I don't know, it could be, I guess, a mini narrative, where you have students that will, like, well, for example, right now we're in a ancient Greek stronghold. This is a, yeah.
You can name villages.
Oh, nice. perfect.
Sorry, distracted.
No, you're fine. So the idea is this is a world that I had created. I was just kind of playing around to see if I could put the Odyssey in Minecraft, an actual learning experience, and so this is one of the first things that I built. This is actually one of the first worlds I'd ever built in Minecraft, in Minecraft Education Edition. And so there's nothing to write home about. It's nothing great. It's very basic. But I thought it would serve as a good location for this narrative trading. And so the idea here is that you'll talk to Frank here, and Frank is basically the guy that you're going to trade with. So the idea is you bring him a stone sword, and he will give you a trident. And then the goal is I would make another character that would be underwater or around water, somewhere, because we're actually on the coast. So they'd have to go find another character by the water that would then, give them a trident, or excuse me, that would require a trident from them, and then in return for that trident, they would get elytra wings, and then you basically keep trading back and forth until eventually you received a boat, is the idea. And then the boat is what would actually get you off of the island and would help further the narrative idea there.
So what you're saying, I mean, we've set this one Frank up here to have 3 trades, all right, and one's hidden behind trading. So, and that's the other thing we want to talk about as well. We'll show you, I've got another villager set up to talk about this. But if we give Frank here, who's called Fletcher in the inventory still, which is interesting, a stone sword, he'll give us a trident. If we then hand him a trident, he'll give us an elytra. Okay, so what you're saying, Ben, is you would actually have this second trade, this trident for elytra, in another villager somewhere else.
Yes, correct.
Yes, okay.
I threw it in all into one. The ease of the live stream.
So, and that's something to point out. So if I grab the cleric here, he's got standard vanilla trades. All right, so he's got absolutely normal trades. This guy over here, the shepherd, he's got standard vanilla trades as well. So we actually haven't overwritten the standard trades of any but the 2 villages we're working on. So how many villages are there? There's 13, 12. Let me go over to the other computer here and let's find out.
Oh, there's 6.
No, there's more than that, because there's heaps more.
Oh, you're right. There's a number of professions. That's right.
Heaps of professions.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me find out how many there are.
Another little interesting thing I didn't realize is that I can't trade with him if you're trading with him.
Yes, I realized that before too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So if you had multiple
7,
students
8,
in a world
9,
that you wanted
10,
to do
11,
trading
12.
with, you have to.
So there are 12 different villages. So you can have 12 different. Wrong button. 12 different. What do you want to call it? I don't know. Characters, trade lines.
Yes.
So that's a limiting factor maybe, but it's certainly something that is there. So you can have up to 12 different villager trading lines. And how far you go, like if we actually, I'm going to actually grab a stone sword here.
And if you really want to go the extra mile, I know there's six skins, I believe.
Yes.
So you could specialize those skins if you wanted to, knowing that, of course, none of these professions are going to have repeated skins.
So I just traded with Frank, and he's got the purple swirlies, which means his 3rd trade is now unlocked. So now your elytra there looks really whacked in that final one. Have a look at it in the 3rd trade. That's interesting. Or is it just me?
Oh.
No, it's not just me. Good.
Oh, no. Looks like broken wings.
So I wonder whether he would trade. I wonder whether he would trade. So I'm going to... All right, so I will trade for elytra. And that one gave me experience too. Did you see that?
Oh. Yeah, I saw it. Yep.
All right, and then if he had more trades, he might unlock. So will he? He will trade the elytra for the boat. So there you go. I've just gone through your entire quest line.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And, as I said before, obviously, I do those trades with different characters, but for the ease of live stream, I thought, all in one character.
But
that's super cool.
Cool. All right, so come over here to this guy. This is the guy I set up as an example. So Ben and I have been working on this together, and I've actually got a complete villager trade pack It's all vanilla, but the complete pack is there, and you can actually choose to trade. So what came up on the mentor community was I want to be able to trade 2 emeralds for 1 rabbit, right? So if I go in here and I grab myself some emeralds. I can't type today, Ben. I'm just going to grab 2. All right, and I go in here and I put 2 there. Then I can just pull out the rabbit, and that's fine. Okay. But what I didn't do with this one is I didn't delete any of the vanilla villager trades afterwards. So, and this is something to take note of. You can now trade this guy for flint. All right. So, and a bow. So if you're not careful and you don't do this fully, like you can't do half of their trades, if that makes sense. You've got to do them all for what you want, or you're going to end up with the behavior that we just saw there, where he's unlocked more vanilla trades for stuff we may or may not want. So yeah, so you can set up as many trades as you like, I believe, and whether they're gated behind other trades or not. So you can actually sort of set up a quest progression there almost, I think. Would you agree with that? Setting up like a quest progression?
Yeah, and I love the fact that you can protect trades behind other trades. No, that's perfect. It really is absolutely perfect.
I think my microphone is, it's a little bit out. Let me knock that back down a little bit. I think I'm peaking my audio. La 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 la, that's a bit better. Let's bump that up. There we go. So now I shouldn't be peaking my audio. All right, so that's one way of doing trades. Okay, and as hard as it was, and as difficult as it can be, I think it's probably one of the best ways of setting it up. The big problem is you can't choose what villager you spawn. Right? So if I wanted a Fletcher, see, I've got a shepherd and a librarian. So then I've got to come in here and I've got to go past all of that. Oh, I missed them, and they're all over there, so I don't want to kill that guy. So I was coming through and spawning a whole heap of villagers like this, seeing if any of them were actually who I wanted. Oh, the Fletcher is, so I'd sort of leave the Fletcher out of it and kill off all the others, kind of thing. But it's actually a real pain, and that's one of the biggest downsides to setting up trading in that way, as well as the frustrating noise that the villagers make. Is that what you spawn is random, and there's no way to change that. The other concern I have, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I think the other piece too is you have to know what your end game is before you start editing your behavior pack, before you start editing the trades.
Yep.
So I think that's, yeah, you've
got to map out your trade mechanic, I guess, beforehand. That's probably very true. So what was I going to say? That's right. You can't prevent students from doing that in any way. And the other big concern for me, particularly with this, is if you don't want animals or monsters or mobs or anything, and you change the game settings to turning off mobs, you lose your villagers. So that's another big concern for me in terms of that. I can't spawn villagers anymore. Sorry, that probably scared you. I can't spawn villagers anymore. So that is another issue that I think is something worth raising. It's not a game breaker. It's certainly not a big issue. But if I wanted to get my armorer back, see, none of them are armorers yet because they don't have the black cloak. So I'm just gonna.
Looks like a dance party.
Who's this guy? Toolsmith.
Nice.
Right,
it's only slightly morbid. It's only slightly morbid from my perspective.
Well, my stream's not getting the game audio at the moment because it's coming through my computer, not... Oh, what are you? There's my armorer. So now I would get... And I'd do this manually. Ooh. So I'd make sure I know where my armorer was. Where'd he go? Is that him in the back corner here? Nope. There he is. He's with you. All right. And then I would just go through and kill off all the rest. So that's the big issue. That's the big issue, in my opinion, with the villager trades. The the JSON files are a pain. Let me get one of them up for you. Open with Notepad.
Yeah, I already screwed one up. So.
Oh, and they're so easy to mess up.
Yeah.
So everyone on stream can now see my lovely JSON file here. So this is the standard Armourer trades. I'll see if I can get you the changed one. Desktop. I just got to find the right link. There it is. So if I grab my armorers and open it over here. So this is my armorer. So what I might do, can I split you into two? Yes. Okay, so if I put you there, oh, I've gone to my other computer, and you there. So on stream now we've got the vanilla armorer trades on the left and the edited armorer trades on the right. I can hear Ben killing villagers in the background.
No, it's not me.
Actually, I might set it up so that that audio is coming out here. No, Minecraft doesn't pick it up. So you can see, you can set up random as well. So I've taken the random out of it. So I've said, so this trade doesn't reward XP. Okay. He wants an emerald and he wants 2 of them. And he will give you a rabbit of 1. He'll give you 1 rabbit. Okay. Whereas in the vanilla trades, it's got, I want coal, right? And I want between 16 and 24. So it's random. And then he'll give you an emerald. Now, I've noticed they don't have a quantity there. That's interesting because I found that I couldn't replicate that. But commas are a problem. Commas are a big problem. It looks like if you're just doing one, you don't need a quantity there, Ben.
Oh, that's nice. I do like the fact that you can put multiples in. That, I mean, that so you're not just stuck with one item for one item, but you can actually,
do 2 for 1.
3 emeralds,
yeah.
4 emeralds, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really a nice feature.
Yeah, so the quotation marks are important, I found. If you don't have and this, so what happens is if you run this pack, and the JSON file isn't right, Minecraft just crashes. As soon as you right click on that villager, Minecraft just crashes. So I went through about 5 crashes this morning, about 20 crashes the other day, trying to figure out where the issue was. And it comes down to having a comma here was a big issue that I had. And then one issue in Ben's little JSON file was he was missing the closing of the quotation marks against one of his trades. So there are significant issues there, and it's not easy. But once you understand the mechanics, I think it is a lot easier. So I think that's by far, which I don't know, we'll talk more about it as we go, I guess, but I think that's the easiest way to get the trading happening. Because the other way I've got to show you here, all right, is using a combination of scoreboards and command blocks. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to grab some emeralds. All right. And I'm going, I don't want 64. I want 32. So what I've done is I've set up a scoreboard called money. Okay. So I'm actually going to set up so that we can see objective set display sidebar money. All right. So you can see Ben and I have 0 money at the moment. Okay. So if I stand on this blue one here, this is going to take 2 emeralds off me and give me a piece of rabbit. All right. So because I had an even number of emeralds, that's given me 16 rabbits. So that worked perfectly. Okay. So Ben, do you want to give that a crack as well? So what you can see
when 64 emeralds,
okay.
So
you should get 32. So you can see Ben's money score is flicking up and down on the right there. It's going between 1 and 2. As soon as it hits 2, it gives him a rabbit and takes 2 off him. All right. So this is clear someone from an emerald, but only 1. Okay. And then it's saying add for that person, give them 1 score for money. And then if someone's got a score of money too, take a rabbit, or give them a rabbit, sorry. And then if someone's got a score of 2, take away 2. Does that make sense in terms of those mechanics? So it's basically take an emerald away and give them a score each time you do that. As soon as someone hits 2, give them a rabbit and take away 2. Now the big problem with this is if I go onto that pressure plate with 3 emeralds, you watch what happens. Alright. Oh, what have you done to break that?
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I went on it with no emeralds. I was curious to see what would happen. I had nothing there.
Interesting. That's maybe I've pushed a character in one of them. Nope. Yeah, there I put a character in that. There we go. It was me that broke it, not you. So now if I stand on here.
Yeah.
Oh no, it didn't trigger because I don't have any emeralds. I've got to have at least some emeralds. Oh no, it's broken. Oh, I know why. Because we've got more money. Yeah, okay. So scoreboard players set. I'm going to take all your money.
I'm used to it. It's fine.
Money 0. There you go. So, and this is the issue with this kind of setup is it can break. It's not stable. It's not as stable as I would like. So let's go through what I was trying to show. So now I've got 3 emeralds on me. If I go stand on here, you can see I got 1 rabbit, but I've still got 1 money left, and that money is in the bank. And if you have that standard money across the entire trade setup you do, then that'll work. That's fine. It's not an issue, right? And if I come back now and I come back, I know I've got 1 in the bank and I take another one, right? It'll take that 1 out and give me that raw rabbit. So it's not a huge issue. It just means you need to be aware that that's happening. That's all. So again, I don't think that's a huge issue, but it is something to be aware of.
Now, Elfie, would you put like a sign up for kids to indicate that this is, where they would trade, or I mean, what would you do?
So I would make this a 1 person at a time kind of place. So I would have it set up so that only 1 person can be in here at a time, and then they stand on that pressure plate to trade, and away they go. So to give you an idea of how this is working, yeah, it's kind of like a bank, yes.
Yeah.
So the redstone triggers that, which then triggers this, because I don't want this triggering all the time. And I want it to be an active thing on the kids' behalf. So the kids stand here and they go, okay, I want to trade my emeralds for rabbit flesh. So it's an active process in that respect. So yes, there would be signage there and an explanation about what was going on. But I'm not sure what happens. So if you grab a couple of emeralds, I'm going to grab 6. Right, and if we stand on that pressure plate at the same time,
alrighty.
All right, so if you stand on that side and I stand on this side, I'm pretty sure it did it for you.
I think I got all of it. I might have done it a little too fast there.
Yeah, interesting. So maybe it does work. I don't know. I would hazard that it won't. That's my in a multiplayer environment. There's a risk that either I get Ben's rabbit and money, or Ben gets my rabbit and money, or thereabouts.
This would be so easy to hide it'd be so easy to hide that it almost be a non-issue, though.
Yes, there is that.
I don't know. Sorry,
No, you're right.
I mean...
340.
Don't mind me.
870.
Just building a bank here.
Oh, there we go. So this next command block here was my way of working around that so that kids could work out how much money they've got in the bank. So the other thing, actually, while we're talking about it, the other thing you could do is you could make this like the hand-in spot. So instead of giving people a rabbit at this point in time, you can actually just set it up so it takes all their emeralds and puts it in the bank, and then there are designated places to hand in that money, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
To me, it does.
So you could just set this up to take all the emeralds and give them money in the bank on the scoreboard there. and then set up other places where they can use that money elsewhere. So that might be a better way of doing it. But this command block here shows you how much money you've got in the bank, basically. So it says I've got 1 money in the bank. And if Ben stands there, it should tell him he's got none. You got to hit the button.
Helps if I hit. Yeah, that might help.
Now, did that come up for you?
No, nothing came up for me.
There you go. And it comes up for me as well. So I don't know if it comes up for me because I'm a teacher, or if it comes up for me because I'm a player. I'm not sure what the rules are there. I did notice the other day that other teachers in the world get command block output, whereas other students may not. I mean, you can turn off command block output, but I think that would then not show you the whatchamacallit, the actual output. I'm not sure. But then I got to thinking, and this came from my idea that, okay, if I walk in there with 3 emeralds, right, then I lose out. Basically, 1 emerald gets taken off me, and I don't get it back. So if I reset myself to 0 and I come into this one with 3 emeralds, so this is setting it up so that the villager itself does the trade. Almost everything is exactly the same. The difference is the villager is going to initiate the trade. Oh, sorry, not the villager. The NPC is going to initiate the trade. And all of that stuff there is going to happen because of that. So if I say I want to give 2 emeralds for 1 rabbit, you can see the same issue happened though. Oh, because I didn't set the timing right. I ended up with 1 rabbit and 1 money in the bank. So I'm going to come back here and do that. And then I'm going to come in here.
Sorry, is the first bank of Elfie there creating problems?
No, that's all right. It's okay. So now I'm going to come back with 3 again. So hopefully, if this is going to work, if you stand on here and you trade with this villager, nope, what's happened? There we go. It still didn't do it. Dang it. I had this set up in my other world and it worked. So, because what this is designed to do is it's designed after... So it always takes more emeralds, right? Because of the way the command blocks are set up. And what I thought I had back here was it set up so that it would actually give it back.
The nice part about using an NPC is, once again, there's a lot of uses for that. You don't have to worry about a sign, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. A little more interactive.
Now that didn't trigger at all, because it shouldn't, because I don't have an emerald. This is frustrating. See, that should have triggered that, which would have triggered that, which should trigger that one. Oh, that's got the wrong coordinates in it. I didn't come back here and do the coordinates for this one. That's why. Changing worlds and not changing coordinates. All right, we'll fix it. Live. 345 70.
Once again, this is the thing about...
Is that the coordinates of that diamond, or that, that diamond block?
345, yeah,
70,
345, 70, negative 90.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'll just fix these 2 back here. Sorry, what were you saying? This is the...
No, it does take a little work to really get this down and get it done right.
Yes, it does. It really does.
You can't just, it takes time.
Right. So now that I've fixed the coordinates back there, let's grab another emerald. This is going really well. Smooth as butter. No, I only want 1. Let's set myself to 0 again, right? And now I'm going to grab 3. I'm going to throw away everything else. And now it's going to work. You watch, it's going to work. Right.
Boom.
So what happened then is it took the 2 emeralds, it took all 3 emeralds off me, But then because I had 1 left in money afterwards, it actually returned it to me. So that's what I set this one up for. So it depends on whether you want straight out trading or banked trading. So as we talked about here, this is banked trading. Did it not give it back to you?
I had 15 emerald.
It should have still given what last one back.
I just want to try it. I do. I have one. I have one back.
You got the emerald
I have
back?
one. Oh, no, I have 12 now. That's weird. I have 12 emerald now.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So what'd you say? You started with 15.
Started with 15. Now I have 12.
Ah.
Okay, so it
All right,
added
so
1 money.
I'm going to stand here.
Cleared inventory. Moved 14. Added 1.
I got 12 of them and 1 rabbit. So it's only doing... That's interesting. That's unexpected behavior. It's taking 3 and giving me 1, but not giving me the return emerald. What did you do to break it this time? I tested all of this.
This will be the last time you ever invite me to a live stream. This is what happens.
You're not allowed anymore.
Man, I guess I start 13 minutes late, breaking everything.
So, why did that not give it? But should be taking that banked emerald and giving it back to me. That's weird. I thought I had that working. Anyway, what we come back to is villager trades are hard to set up but easy for kids to work with in game. I think. That's my personal opinion.
I would agree with that.
The first bank of Elfie here, I think, is by far the better option. I would set it up so you have the bank, you go and trade your emeralds in, or whatever your currency is, diamonds or bits of cobblestone or whatever, and you then use that as the trading for later on. So I've got 1 banked in money at the moment. I could go and talk to an NPC, get 5 pieces of rotten flesh and give them 1 of my monies. I think is probably the best way of doing that. I think this setting up an NPC to be a trade mechanic from start to end is too problematic. It's not easy.
It's a lot of command blocks.
Yes. So, and it's basically the same set of command blocks. It's take 1 emerald, give them 1 score. If someone's got a score of 2, give them a rabbit. If someone got the rabbit, take 2 off them, and then why is that doubled up? It's interesting. I think that's probably the reason. Transferring from this other world. Wake up other computer. Go back into Minecraft. I'll just get the other world up and see. I think I might have messed up the commands when I brought them over. Let's find out. Just waiting for Minecraft to wake up again. There we go.
Well, and the thing about these commands is the only command, tied with an NPC, the NPC doesn't have to be anywhere near the command blocks to get it to work, correct?
No, that's right.
The NPC could be anywhere.
Anywhere, yes.
Whereas with these other ones, the command blocks have to be right there.
I did mess it up. Bringing it over. So now, let's grab me 1 emerald. Give me 1 flesh. I'm going to grab 3 of them. Now I'm going to come and talk to this gal again. It didn't actually work. I'm obviously not standing in the right spot. Right, that time it worked. Okay, for me. So what did you say you started with 15? Alright, so if I start with 15, it took 3 and gave me 1, but it didn't give me 1 back. Yeah, it's still doing it. That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So that's the answer. Don't do this.
Well, I wonder what number it's accurate up to. It was perfectly fine for 3, right?
Yes.
Did it work? Okay.
Yes, but I designed it because the pulse is 3 long. So what I found really interesting while I was playing around with this,
Try 5.
these things put out a pulse, yeah? When you place them down, or you place a block in front of them, see the little red light flash there?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an observer block. So what it does is it detects changes on the other side of it and then puts out a redstone signal. So what this NPC is actually doing is placing one like that. Now that triggers the command block above it, because the command block is set to be repeat, but needing redstone. So as soon as it gets that redstone signal, it runs. So you can see it. I just saw it happen there. So what happens then is this command block runs really, 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 really quick. And what I found was it was always overtaking, and that's why this one here overtakes. It always overtakes. And it would overtake up to 3. So this one would take 3 off you. No, this one would take 3 off you if this was a redstone block. So if I placed a redstone block there, it would always take 3 more. Right? Always take 3 more. Whereas with the observer block, because it's such a shorter pulse signal, it would only take 1 more. That's the way that's set up. But I think by far the best solution is this one here.
I like the bank option. I think it's kind of it's a cool mechanic.
Yeah, I think that's by far the best option. If you want to go down the command block and scoreboard thing. Now we are doing a scoreboard stream, probably not until the new year now, given the time of year it is and how hard it is to get everyone together. But the villager trades are certainly something that's easy to work from. That's going to shut my door, hopefully. Yeah. The villager trades are certainly something that's easy to work from, but hard to set up. And you do have to map it out properly originally. Now there is old school redstone mechanics, and this was what Simon unfortunately couldn't come today. This is what Simon was going to show us. Just build in the middle of your town square.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I reckon these hoppers have a different hitbox in Java than they do in EE. Right, if we do this. So this is set up as an item. You set these up as item filters. Now I'm doing this all from memory at the moment. Let's grab... I did use some of these in another map I was working on, so I could always go back and have a look at that. But you set these up as item filters, and these will detect as things flow through them. So what you can do is detect how many items flow through and then feed that back. I'm going to have to look it up. Hang on. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it properly. This one. Item filter. Good old Google. Show me some images. That's it. So that goes into a redstone dust. Dang it, I just shut down that browser window. Come back, browser window. Right. And then comes back down here. Nothing like being set up beforehand, huh?
It's fascinating to watch, I will say that. I'm just the moral support at this point.
All right. Redstone, there's a repeater there, and that goes into another block here. Okay, so I need to set this up. I'm only going to set up a couple, just so that we can actually see what's going on. So I need redstone dust, a redstone repeater, and I'm going to need redstone torches, but we go dust, 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 dust. Now these are tileable, I believe, because of the way they're set up. You can stack them side by side like I am here. That then goes into one of these, which then goes into one of these, and I'm one too low. How am I one too low? That. Eh? Oh, there's another hopper here. Not going that way, dang it. I need a chest or something to put. Oh, I can't type today, Ben. I keep typing. Did you know that you can actually place chests in this version of Minecraft that don't connect to each other side by side?
I did, believe it or not, know that.
I didn't. It took me a while to figure out. I was just placing random chests one day and I went, what? Hang on. And then, so what you do is you set these up. So at the moment, this... I feel like that's flowing the wrong way. They flow across, these come down. I feel like this isn't going to work.
This would be a great problem to give to kids also, you know?
There we go, that's working. So that's that one there. So this one here will take... So now, as soon as a chest or a block of redstone go into this hopper setup, right? So if I just grab, what am I trying to do here? If I grab one chest and throw it out, did that actually go in? How about I put these back in my inventory here? Let's actually do this way. Right, so hopefully if I throw a chest over there...
Nice throw.
Did that trigger? I got 4 chests in there, I got 2 chests in there. It is triggering, but we're not seeing it. Okay. So what I did in my other world to register that things had happened was I came out this way. If I go over here and grab a command block. And we put in here, say, chest. I hope this works. Say, redstone block. So it said chest. Oh, it did work.
Yep.
If I throw a redstone block in there, it says redstone block. So you can trigger things based on that. That was what Simon was going to show us, was how to set up a trading mechanic using that. Now I can't take it any further than that because I don't know what the next step was in terms of counting the number of items that go through, but there are ways of doing it.
Now, if you have a basic question for you, so if I drop something in one of those hoppers, it travels across the hoppers, correct?
Yes. So what it does, so if you come down and look at this one, so come down to my height here, the way the hopper is pointing, so all the items that are dropped into these hoppers will flow across the top. If they're able to go down, so for example, the chest can go down into the first one. So it'll go down because the hopper will pull it down before it flows across. But the redstone block can't go in the first one, so it goes on to the next hopper to the right. And then it flows, it can go down there. So if I threw a redstone comparator in or a redstone repeater in there, right, that won't trigger any of them. But because it could flow into this third hopper, it did. So it'll get pulled down if it can, and that's what triggers the command blocks to go, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah, it does.
It's the varying signal strength. So at the moment, these comparators are measuring a certain signal strength out of those hoppers. If that signal strength goes up by 1, it triggers the command block, it triggers this repeater and turns off the torch and allows items to flow back this way, but only the 1 or until those items are back to equilibrium. So it's like an equilibrium state kind of thing.
And now every item does not have, I mean, they all have different values, correct?
Yes. So this is set up for things that stack to 64, and I'm pretty sure it's 22 items. Yeah, it is 22 items sitting in that hopper right now. So as soon as 23rd item gets in there, they flow out. The other cool thing, and this is something I'm doing, is you can set this up with named items. So if you name an item, so if instead of redstone block, let's do it. If I come over here and I rename this to elfiness, so block of elfiness, right? So instead of block of redstone now, I've got block of elfiness, just because I can. If I take all this redstone out and put a block of elfiness in there, it would have said redstone, right? But now if I throw a redstone block in, so block of redstone is there, block of elfiness is there. So if I throw a block of redstone in, it won't actually trigger the redstone one, because it's different to what's in there, because it's got a different name. So you can really, really customize what's going on here. So that should have set it off because it was a block of elfiness. So you could set up a heap of these item filters. It's a time-based thing. And in Java Minecraft, at least, hoppers cause lag, allegedly. But yeah, so you can set it up so you can have as many different things. Hey, the Jewel Man, I don't know how long ago you actually said hey, but welcome. Yeah, so you can set it up so that you have custom named items. Now, giving custom named items in this version of Minecraft is quite a pain, but it is certainly something that's doable, but not with a give. So if I wanted to give you a block of elfiness, I would have to set it up in a chest, and then if I cloned that chest and then broke it, you would get that item popped out.
Nice.
So that's sort of the only way I've been able to work out how to give custom items.
I'm stealing your block of elfiness.
I can give you heaps more. Here you go.
I know. I know. I have the block of elfiness.
So that should trigger the redstone one. Yeah.
Yep. Very cool.
All right. So Simon was going to set up trading around that, and whether that's I don't know whether it would work for more than one. So if you put a block of elfiness in, I could set this to be, actually, let's do something here. I think I know one way we can make this happen. If I put,
I think the cool thing about this trading that I think also says a lot just about the uses of the game itself is that there are a number of ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And,
so if you throw a block of elfiness in there again now, what happens?
Yep. Nothing.
It did? Yeah, no, okay. So you could set up a hopper chain, a dropper chain that actually pop that item up and back at you, or trigger a water stream, or trigger a command block that gave a cloned item or something like that. So the command block was in the bottom, dropper. It's now in the second dropper, so I would have to set it up properly to do that, but it is a possibility of just triggering a dispenser even so that it shoots it up, or shoots it out into a bit of water. And do you know what I mean? So there's other ways of doing that mechanic there. So but that's for one-to-one trading. How to do it for more than one-to-one trading, I don't know. Villages, if you want to do that, they work really well. Have we still got a custom one here? Yeah, the armorer. So I think, I still go back to the villager trading. I think is, while it's the most tricky to set up, it's the most stable and the most workable in a classroom situation.
And I like it just because I think you can customize some of the villagers to look different if you'd like to as well.
Yes, with the resource pack. So, and you can also take the AI off. Actually, if we're already playing in behavior packs, you might be able to stop the kids punching them and stop them moving around. Take out their AI and take out their ability to be hurt. You might be able to do that.
That's a good idea.
But what we will share, I will share my dodgy bank setup and the even dodgier NPC direct trade setup. Same way I did for the teleportation stream, in a document all set up nice and shiny. And we'll also share our base villager trades pack, which again I showed you earlier, just has if I can find, nope, I'll show you what it's got in it. So it's got all of the vanilla JSON files in there. It won't have that or that. So it'll have these three things, and the manifest JSON is one thing, and that's the only thing. I mean, you need to change that, but I've got a video about how to do that, and if you want to change the pack icon, you can. But then the important thing is you've actually got to put it in the world. So if I press escape and I go settings and I go behavior packs, you can see we've got Fletcher trades here. And I've got another one down there, but and I can force that for others. Yeah, active behavior packs apply to all players, so that's forced to Ben. Ben has to have that behavior pack active, so you need to actually trigger that behavior pack to be in the world. But other than that, it's, let's say, it's painful, and getting the villagers is the real pain. I think
it's worth. I think it's worth the trouble, especially if there's a world that a teacher's going to use multiple times.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I really do. I think it's totally worth the effort.
So do I. I think it has a lot of validity for setting up worlds where you do have a currency and things. You know, what I'm trying to say here, that there's a goal for the kids to reach in terms of doing this kind of stuff. So your idea behind the narrative, you know, you've got to go and speak to such and such to get, or you've got to go find it. You've got to go and actually craft a stone sword, then come back and see me once you've, you know, and the narrative right now, once you've actually learned how to create a stone sword, you know, then come back and see me, and I'll give you a real weapon. Yes. You know, and then
it's so immersive. I mean, it really is. Like, you're really a part of the adventure. It's not you're not just talking to people and they're not just giving you things, but you actually have the opportunity to craft and go out and find.
And that was the issue we came across with these guys here, and it is a request currently in the feedback forums for this. If you actually put commands in here, you can't make them conditional. So these here are conditional. So that little divot in the arrow there means if this one is successful, this one runs. So these are conditional. It's only if this one runs that this second command block runs. But you can't do that in the NPC commands, unfortunately, at this stage. So we have a request for supporting trading with NPCs, and also making NPC commands able to be conditional.
You know, something else would be kind of cool too is if we could clone command blocks with commands already in the command blocks.
Yes, that's a request.
Yeah.
And I think I haven't looked at it deeply yet because I don't have access to that beta yet. I haven't signed up for the Bedrock 1.8. I think Bedrock 1.8, when Education Edition gets to that, is going to open up the possibility for creating custom characters in the game, I guess you'd call them. So custom creatures, mobs, monsters, whatever in the game, and having the ability to interact with them, probably the same way we do the villagers. I think we could steal the villager trade mechanics and put them on other things, I think. So that's actually really exciting if that comes to pass the way I think it's going to.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
It'll be really, really, really good. But it's a Sunday evening for you now almost, isn't it? A big 5:30.
It is. 5:30 p.m.
5:30 in the afternoon for you, or evening. So thank you very much for coming. I think we'll call this here. And unless you've got something else you want to say.
No, it's been fun. Thanks, I appreciate it.
So
I enjoy breaking the stuff that you make. So.
Yes, no, that's good. And this is the issue. Playing on your own, you can't actually break all the things. It's not until you throw it in a classroom or get it in multiplayer that you actually know what's happening. So yeah, all right. I will. Yeah, we'll call it here. Thank you very much for coming. This will be edited and YouTubed at some point. And then we will do a scoreboard one in the future, let's say early next year probably, given the way things are going at the moment and trying to get everyone together. So thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you next time.